Welcome to Sunday School Lesson at a Glance, a ministry of the Sunday School Publishing Board, where we focus on teaching, engaging, application, and learning for teachers and students.
Now, I will share some teaching tips to use when teaching this week's lesson, November the 15th. Again, our focus is on teaching, application, engagement, and learning. This month's teaching tips are focusing on 5 P's: prayer, preparation, planning, presentation, and performance. The November 1st lesson, we focused on prayer. Last week, November the 8th, our focus was on preparation. This week, our focus is on planning. You have prayed and spent time in study and preparation to teach the lesson. Again, our third focus for this week is on planning. Now you're going to plan how you're going to teach the lesson. You want to have a plan on how you're going to teach. Have a guide, an outline, a lesson plan, a detailed plan on how you're going to teach the lesson. Having a plan keeps you focused and it gives you organization and some structure to your teaching. Here are some questions to consider as you prepare to teach. How are you going to teach the lesson? What method or methods of teaching and activities are you going to use? What materials and resources do you need? How are you going to introduce the lesson? What questions do you need to prepare in advance? Are there any special accommodations that you need to make based on the needs of your students? How do you plan to engage your students in the lesson? How are you going to close the lesson? Planning is essential to effective teaching. These teaching tips and others are presented in my book, Effective Teaching Practices for 21st Century Christian Educators, and can be purchased through the Sunday School Publishing Board. Now I'm going to share some engagement activities that you can use when teaching this week's lesson. Have students engage in a compare and contrast activity. Have them compare and contrast the actions of worldly love and godly love. And this can be a group activity, or it can be done with a partner or with the whole class. And a question: why did Jesus place so much emphasis on love? This is a great discussion question. How are the words love, obedience, and faith connected? So have students spend some time looking at these words and discussing how love, obedience, and faith are connected. What are some examples of the self-sacrificing love that you have observed? So have students to reflect and share. Teachers, be creative in how you structure these activities with your students. The activity or activities that you use should reinforce and teach the biblical truths of the lesson and contribute to the students being able to apply the lesson truths to and biblical truths to their everyday life. Thank you for tuning in to Sunday School Lesson at a Glance. I hope these teaching tips are helpful to you as you prepare to teach and study God's Word. For additional information and resources, contact the Sunday School Publishing Board.
We invite you to join us each week as we take a glimpse into the Sunday School lesson. Subscribe now.